My name is Deanna Storfie, and I love stories. I especially love the stories of ordinary people who've been used by God in some extraordinary ways. You see, since 2003, I have been researching, writing, and bringing to life through drama the lives of ordinary people whose lives were touched and changed by the love of Jesus Christ. You see, they were ordinary people like you and I, with flaws, but they loved God, and that love just seemed to overflow into the lives of others. And they were willing to take the love of God into some of the darkest corners of our world, even into some of their own backyards. And they did this throughout history. Whether it was in the 18th century during the horrors of the African slave trade, or into exotic lands that were steeped in superstition and even human sacrifice. Or maybe it was in a 19th century notoriously dark English prison, or even a 20th century Nazi concentration camp. Look, wherever there was darkness, Jesus wanted to shed his light, his love, and his forgiveness. And he did it through ordinary people. And their examples, it challenged me. I couldn't keep this good news to myself either. So, in 2005, I found myself in jail. Okay, not because of any crime I'd committed, but because the Lord asked me to go. And I started volunteering at my local correctional center, along with a few other women whose lives had been changed by the love of Jesus Christ. I have to tell you that at first I was terrified. And for 6 months, I dug in my heels. I disobeyed God. I ignored his voice. What did I know about prisons and criminals, after all? I had no idea how God wanted to use me and if he even could. And so I just didn't. At that time, I was a mom and a wife. And yeah, sure, I could act, but what could God do with that? Well, it turns out quite a lot. You see, over the years, I began developing these stories of ordinary people that God has used throughout history. And I would practice them on these women. Yeah, they were kind of like a captive audience, so to speak. But it was there that I learned to do this well. And in that process, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of women who never would go to church have heard the good news, and they have seen the love of God through the stories of ordinary people who God has used. And what a blessing that has been. You see, God just wants to take what we have, and he wants to use it if we're willing to step out of what's comfortable and into the unknown. I love how the Apostle Paul puts it in his letter to the Colossians. You see, he writes, "This same good news that came to you is going out all over the world. It's changing lives everywhere, just as it changed yours that very first day you heard and understood the truth about God's great kindness to sinners." It's my hope that their examples will encourage, inspire, and challenge you as well.